All right, guys, well, I'm back today because my addiction kicked in. I spent way too much time on the Amazon machine again, and I grabbed a ton of $10 and under EDC items to try them out so you guys don't have to sort through the trash or treasure. All of these will be linked in the description below in the order that they were presented in the video, and definitely shove this in the algo. A lot of you guys are commenting and pushing this in the algo, and it's helping out a lot. I greatly appreciate it. It means a ton and allows me to keep doing this. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because if some of these are out of stock, it means you were just a little bit too slow, so you don't want to miss the next one. And some of these are going to sell out very, very fast. The first one we're going to be talking about is this guy right here, a brand new knife that I've discovered on Amazon. Now, it's a very basic flipper knife, and this one's pretty decent. It's got G10 handles, tip down carry, and the steel on this guy is going to be a halfway decent steel. It's not going to be anything super fancy. It's going to be the 7CR17 MOV steel. Fairly sharp out of the box. Great freaking rock solid lockup, but there's always gives and takes at this price point. The deployment is mediocre. It's not the best deployment you've ever felt, but again, we are talking about an $8 knife or a $9 knife, an $8.99 in the black and green color variation, and there's a few other versions, all under $10. So for a decent flipper folder, tip down carry, with halfway decent materials, including G10 handle, sub $10, that's hard to beat. Now, you want to make sure you watch to the end of this video, because I'm actually saving one of my favorite knives to the end. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is actually some of the Work Pro wrenches, and a few that really strike me, in particular this guy right here. This is actually a CRV steel 4-inch with an inch and metric scale little micro wrench. Now, I love Work Pro. They have been killing it in the micro tool industry, and this is just another great example. Sometimes you'll pick up some of these budget micro tools and they'll feel cheap. They don't run smooth, but this one runs really smooth. Good lockup on the jaws, and these generally sell for $8, and they're worth every penny of that. They just happen to be on sale for 20% off at $6.39 with free Prime shipping. Might want to jump on those. Another mini wrench that's really cool is the Crescent guy. Now, this one's actually on sale on Amazon, cheaper than I could ever find them in person in stores, and on top of that, you get free Prime shipping. Now, this little guy in stores generally sells for $10. I actually found it on Amazon. I would say the quality of this feels just a touch more refined than the Work Pro, and this is $7.49. This one's an oxide finish, 4-inch adjustable wrench. It's a little bit different profile, a little bit slimmer on the handles, and I believe you get a touch more expansion on the Work Pro if you were looking at larger bolts, but something to consider in this micro tool category. Again, $7.49. Moving along. Now, a new knife that also popped up is a really good high value knife with 440C steel and a push button action. Now, this one is pretty darn cool. 55 reviews at 4.3 stars, so pretty decent rating on Amazon, and these generally sell for $15.99. Now, I think the company is blowing these out. They have dropped the price to $9.99, and that's how they've made this video at 38% off. For me, the $16 price range, I feel like there's couple of touch better options, especially with slightly better steels in the 440C, but this is a tip-up carry, non-reversible pocket clip with good blade centering, super good action, solid lockup, and a really nice button lock design. For $10, this is a no-brainer. If it starts going up much past $10, I would take a minute to watch some of my other videos, but at the $10 price point, this one is a really good option, so you may want to check that out. And again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these deals will sell out fast, so if I show you guys something and you go check it, instead of leaving a comment saying, oh, the price went up, if you want to say, oh, the price went up at a certain time, that way people can kind of tell when it went up or if they just completely sold out. I don't control a lot of the prices or inventory on this stuff. I just find it and bring it to you guys. So make sure you sub so you don't miss those next deals. Now, this guy right here is a 2-piece compact fire starter. You've got the fire steel right here, and on the other end, you've got the striker built right in, and that will work really well once you get off that finish right off the front right there. So if I can do this not on camera, there we go. So you get that finish, and then you can really throw some sparks. I don't want to burn down the studio. You've got a little compass on the end there. Now, I like these guys because you don't have to worry about storing something like this in a little EDC pack, and we will be talking about some good EDC pack options in a second. Instead of like a lighter, something like this is good because you can store it in a pack for years on end in the hot sun without worrying about the butane over-pressurizing or leaking out or just going bad or rusting or something like that. This is just great for a little EDC survival kit, not something you carry like in your EDC pocket every day. They generally sell for $15.99 for a 2-pack, an orange and a green. They're on sale right now for $9.99 for a 2-pack, making them $5 a piece, which in my opinion is a smoking deal. Another 2-pack light deal was actually on sale for $16.19 is the Warsun Mini Work Light. Really nice USB-C rechargeable work light with 4 functions. You click it on and you get that blinding 700 lumens out of an $8 flashlight. You click it down to a medium, then a low, and then you have this side little light right here, which I could see you clipping this on a backpack while you're walking at night to make it visible, or using this to look at something like at night in a tent if you're camping, or just kind of keeping this on as an ambient light in a power outage situation to indicate something. So you've got to cycle through all 4 of those modes. The user interface is super basic, but as an $8 light, not that bad for the price. Another little gadget which I thought was pretty cool is I discovered this guy right here, and I've been playing with a little bit and like it. It's got a little flashlight on the end for the pen. You have a window breaker, which is key. And I always like to keep a pen in my car if I'm signing checks or writing down information with a little notepad. But having a pen with the window breaker in your car is nice because if you get in a wreck and you have to pop the glass to get out, that's really good. Or if you have this in an EDC kit or bug outs kit or something like that, when the zombies come and there's without rule of law and you need to pop out a window, you can do that as well. You can unthread this and have a few other little extra tools in there, which is pretty interesting and convenient. And then you can unthread it right here and actually use it as a pen, which is probably 99% of how you will use it. And you also get pen refill cartridges inside the box. $10 for that guy. Over 15,000 reviews on it at 4.4 stars, so pretty decent for the money. Another interesting thing that's pretty decent for the money is this new Mossy Oak Pocket Multi-Tool. Now, this just popped up on Amazon, and they were selling for $20. But right now, you can get them at 50% off, down to $9.99. You have the knife, the file Phillips combo. You also have a wire cutter and like micro wrench. You have a can opener, flathead, and bottle opener. And you have a set of scissors and a survival whistle. This is pretty cool. Now, the tools are okay. You know, each one is pretty neat, but as like a survival bug out bag, little camp bag thing, and again, a survival situation where you're popping open cans of food or something like that, that's pretty cool. The scissors are halfway decent. You can fold them over, and you actually have a pull down kind of crossbar style lock on this guy to fold everything over. It's actually a halfway little decent tool for $10. Would I spend $20 on this tool? Probably not. If the price goes back up to $20, for me, I would stay away from it. Just grab it, in my opinion. If it's right around $10, even if it goes up a little bit to $11 or $12, I could see the value in it. But much past that, there may be some other options I've covered in other videos. This little guy right here, the Olight i3E, 90 lumen AAA powered flashlight. The cool thing about this is there's a lot of color variations. When I started, all of the color variations were $12.99. Then they all dropped to $9.99 or $9.95, and as they sell, they're going back up to $12.99. 4 color variations are left at $9.99, so if you want to jump on those for a cool color match EDC, that would be something neat. I figured I'd show them to you guys. Now, a hidden gem on Amazon is this guy right here. Now, this little knife is pretty darn cool. It is a crossbar lock knife, and this one actually features 8CR 14 MOV steel. So 8CR 14 MOV steel, crossbar lock action, fairly sharp out of the box, 2 colors, black and blue, completely reversible, tip-up carry pocket clip, and this thing is freaking sweet. The action is insane. And here's the price, guys. $9.99. Now, I think the reason why right now it's $10, it's got 26 reviews at 4 stars. Now, you can read through those and see what other people think, but I freaking love this thing at 10 bucks. So much so, I've got the black one in my cart to get a second one. Is it going to be the best knife ever? No. And is it going to be the toughest knife ever? I don't think so. You have your scales stopping right at about here, so they don't go fully through the handle. So you do have a flexing handle, and people may be concerned about that, and you do get some flex, but no blade play. The more flex is in the handle. But when you consider this as like a lightweight, easy EDC carry knife, I love it. Like, would this go in a camp bag for survival applications? Probably not. But this will go in my pocket because it is so lightweight and easy to carry, and it's 10 bucks. So if you're opening packages and you hit a staple or you do something to it, you're not really killing a very expensive knife. It's just a good budget beater, has a freaking awesome action that's super fidgety. And again, knowing what you're getting with the flexible handle and stuff like that going into it, you won't really be disappointed. I could see how people would be surprised by that if they weren't familiar with this style knife or type of knife, especially at this price point. But I freaking love that. Again, one of my favorites. I'm going to buy a couple of more as like everyday little beater knives. The next thing I want to talk about is also one of my favorites. The absolute best flat flashlight that I've seen on the market right now for 10 bucks. This thing is 800 lumens, 1200 milliamp rechargeable battery in 5 modes. You have the top button that goes instant to a defensive strobe, and then you click it again to an SOS. I could see you cycling this through a backpack while you're walking at night and turn it on the SOS mode. And right below it is the main button, and you got a really nice center spot, a good floodlight. You click it again to go up, and then you go off. So you've got 1, 2, and then off, 1, 2, and then off. Now, it says a 5 mode. Maybe that's the turbo with the long press right there. That may be the 5th mode up to that 800 lumens. And that would make sense right there. I believe that's what it is. You long press and you go to that blinding turbo mode. But I am loving this flashlight, especially with the USB-C recharging port, and you've got the magnetic base on this guy. So when you're looking at this guy for $9.99, I think this one will definitely go up in price. Right now it only has 15 reviews at 4.3 stars, so I think once people discover it, the price is going to climb. You can also save a buck if you buy the 2-pack at $18.99, so something to consider there. Now, a lot of you guys are probably looking for EDC pouches to put it in. I discovered this one right here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is right out of the $10 price range. It's generally $16.99, 24% off down to $12.99. Love the zipper on this guy. Love this little EDC pouch. It's built pretty nice, especially for that price point. But if you want to be fair, and we all want to be fair, I'm going to link and do all the filtering for a ton of $10 and under EDC pouches like this guy right here. Now, when you are getting these $10 and under EDC pouches, the zippers on these guys are not going to be as good as this one right here on this particular version, but this one is 10 bucks. For me, I like to grab some of these cheaper ones. There's also one that's going to be from HXOUSE. I'll be linking that down there for $7.99. That one has a way better zipper operation than this one right here. It's not that they're not like, I don't know. You get what you kind of pay for in some of these smaller ones. It's almost worth springing for the Viperade Maxpedition or this guy right here to store everything and quick access. But I will be linking some of those other budget ones in the description below. But again, let's shove this in the algo. Let's push this out there, because the more views these get, the better deals I can find and negotiate on your behalf. And again, if something is sold out or the prices went up, it just means you need to subscribe to the channel and watch as soon as it posts so you don't miss the next video or miss the next deal. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.